What is something that receives more hate than it deserves? Almost everything. It's legitimately trendy to pick everything apart: movies, TV shows, and bring forth bile, anger and hatred towards any small detail. Everything on the internet is designed to spark rage, to generate clicks and engagement, therefore add revenue, and we're bombarded almost 24/7 by strangers telling us to hate the same things as them lest face their own anonymous wrath. Spiders! Everything. It's all turned into the complaining Olympics. It's not enough to not like something. We all need to grab our megaphones and scream, "Hey everybody, come look at how much I hate this thing." Nickelback! Sitting down, men, pineapple on pizza. Sports. It's a storyline, it's entertainment, art, competitiveness, strategy, insane talent, dedication, excitement. I'm not impressed by the sports ball as dumb, lame, a complete waste of time comments. If you apply that to sports ball, you have to apply it to a ton of other. At the moment, gamers who are looking forward to play Hogwarts Legacy. Up to the point they harassed a streamer, and his GF started crying. There is this website with a bot who lists every streamer who played the game so they know how to attack them. Being honest. Fruitcake. Me. White people. Body hair. Little Caesars Pizza. United States. Pineapple on pizza. Straight white men. Things that are normal. Anger. Being healthy. Being straight. American cuisine. That former police lady who was just doing her bit for team morale. Big male bodybuilders like myself who still like cute little animals and being the little spoon once in a while. Any conservative opinion on Reddit. Jimmy Carter. Queefs. My preferences in potential girlfriends. I'm allowed to have preferences too. Wanting to be around people you connect with and relate to. Everything doesn't need to be diverse. Raisins. Masculinity. Authentic men who are unashamedly masculine. Who's that one musician that you wish was still alive and still making music? Kurt Cobain, Michael Jackson, Bowie, Ronnie James Dio, Tom Petty, Jeff Buckley, Prince, Mac Miller, Chris Cornell, Tupac, Freddie Mercury, Dwayne Allman, Jerry Garcia, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jerry Garcia, Whitney Houston, Chris Cornell, Chester Bennington, Lane Staley, to name a few. Lennon, Mac Miller, Tupac or Bob Marley. It may be Michael Jackson, Jimi Hendrix, Mika from the Beastie Boys, Mark Lank, John Denver, Jay Retard, X. Elliott Smith. I'd kiff the band would be different now if he was still alive, but I would have preferred it if the Rev didn't die from the band Avenged Sevenfold. Mozart, Alexi Laiho. Still can't believe he's gone. Tom Petty, Jerry, Keith Moon or John Bonham, Jeff Hanneman, Elliott Smith, Scott Hutchison, Bon Scott, The Professor, Neil Peart. Not necessarily making music, but he deserved a nice long retirement after everything he went through in his life. Honestly, I want Juice WRLD back. I still love his music. Benjamin Knows, Lionel Richie, Peter Green, founding member of Fleetwood Mac, Bob Marley, Prince, Dime, Prince, Bowie, Chris Cornell, Mark Lanigan, Lane Staley, Prince B from PM Dawn, Sean Smith of Brad, Satchel, and Pigeonhead, Cliff Burton, former bassist of Metallica, Kurt Cobain, Biggie and Tupac, Mac Miller, Tom Petty, Heavy D, Juice, Nate Dogg, Jim Croce, Beethoven, Stevie Ray Vaughan. What screams this person peaked in high school to you? Hey girl, hey, do you want to be your own boss babe while working from home? And it's just a pyramid scheme. Still acting like a typical mean girl when they're near or past 30, bragging about high school hookups in their 30s. My ex-stepmother constantly bragged about being a cheerleader in high school and winning a beauty walk in a town of like 500 people. She was still bragging about these the last time I saw her. She was in her mid-40s. One guy I knew literally got our school emblem and mascot in a huge class of 2010 tattooed on his shoulder, regularly reposting the same picture of the one notable moment that they had in high school. Anyone who bullies other adults as if they were still in high school. Ridiculing the hobbies of others to make yourself look good. These are the best years of your life on repeat. Almost 10 years after high school, a guy asked me if one of my friends was popular in high school. The people that ask you to join those MLM schemes selling body wraps or the like. Anyone that has a Salt Life decal on their car when they live nowhere near the ocean or even a salt mine. Still going to every high school football game and sitting in the student section. Still acting as if the popular people from high school are still popular in real life. Talking about high school in every conversation and gossips like a high schooler. When the former high school bully you beat in a karate tournament with an illegal face kick shows up at your business and all your employees know exactly who he is. I know a guy pushing 40 that still wears his varsity Letterman jacket. They keep insisting for the next 30 years that they would have taken state if coach would have put them in the game. Constantly talking about their high school sport experiences. Buddy, you're 32. Nobody gives a flying that you lettered in lacrosse and basketball. When you're 50 years old and you still talk about all the parties you went to in high school. i.e. my father, taking rec league softball way too seriously. They want to organize high school reunions every 5 years. Under college university in their Facebook profile, it says School of Hard Knocks. It doesn't get better once you grow up. I told a sub-teacher at my school that people told me this all the time, and she told me the only people that say that are the ones that peaked in high school. I miss her every day. If the circumstances ever arose and you had to change your name and identity, what would you change your name to? If I tell you, I can't use it. Max Power. Sir Bartholomew Thrombus Giganticus 3. Charles. Muffins. Yeah, like I'm telling you that. Demetrius Demarcus Donquavis Bartholomew James III. Adonis Stamina. Ride. Cause I associate myself with that name already, and my friends know me by that name. Leakebum. Muhammad McLovin. I think the name Vesper would be cool. Yummy one, and I would use my real name as an alias everywhere. Jade Frost. Would leave my first name Tyler but take my great-great-grandfather's name Brash, run away to a different state and leave my GF and kids behind. Series of colds. Oliver. Or Ben Over. Princess consists banana hammock. Nice try. Government. Negro. Long Rod from Schlongdong. Anastasia Beaverhausen. Rufus. Jonathan Brody Super. Esquire! Exclamation mark. If I'm gonna get my balls blown off for a word. Anastasia Beaverhausen. Anastasia as in Russian royalty. Beaverhausen as in the place where the beaver lives. Nice try FBI, you aren't getting me that easy. Alexandria. Dirt Shirty. Sterling McCoy sound pretty cool. Camille Chavez. I've always liked the name Camille, it's so pretty. Chavez is a family name on my dad's side but not my maiden name. Now if I had to go into witness protection or something, I would pick something like Julia Williams. Lana Levito. Miles Long Hugh G. Rection. Lol. Noise Try. Lorella. Long John Johnson. Benito Camilla. Creeps Majibs. Albert Finger Noodle. Isaias Honorado Adriano. Exclamation mark Dioga. Why would I put this information on a page that's indexed by all major search engines? Richard Gazenia. Soft Rich. Ricky Bobby. Jason Bourne. Jim Leahy. Joe Y. Jorio Junio R. House. Rusty Shackelford. Magnus Chadson 3. Yod. Jackson Moff. But you can call me Jack. Training 2. People is free Army, but training to save people costs thousands. Medical school. The Army will put you through medical school if you want to go that route, but the Army pays for medical training as well. My mother joined the Air Force to pay for medical school. She went through debt-free. In my country, being a soldier medic doesn't pay that well. But being a doctor doing clandestine work for criminals does. Big sad. Training 2 and save people are both free. Medical school just means you can charge for saving people too. You can learn to effectively people and save their life after you're done shooting them. Source me, was a combat medic. Note: a bunch of medic are not going to stack up on a door and breach the compound like a bunch of SEALs or special forces. Not even close. Those guys do that on a professional basis. Bit easier to pull a trigger than perform heart surgery. Admittedly, I guess the days of people getting a draft notice and being in combat 2 weeks later ended a long time ago. The people being trained in the Army pay mostly with hurt joints and lifelong back problems. Did you know there's hundreds of jobs in the Army that don't involve killing people? Also, what makes you think the training received in the Army is free? It spends hundreds of billions of dollars a year. Not free, it's actually wildly expensive and paid for by the country that benefits from our services. Thank you and you're welcome. A lot of taxpayer money is spent on the military. It may be free to you, but the government pays those bills of tutorship with the tax you and every other person in your country pays. If anything, the thought should be that everybody in your country shares the price you have to pay to learn to. Whereas the cost of learning to save a life is entirely your own. You too can be paid while you're volunteering, get help going to college, get help buying your first home, get taxpayer-funded healthcare, and draw a pension in America. As long as you are initially willing to. For it, join the military. Also, discount perks at restaurants such. If by free you mean after training they send you wherever to possibly, I guess. Last year Madonna 64 was dating a guy who was 28. Why didn't everyone lose their mind at that? I don't think society's losing its mind about this type of pairing. He's almost 30. If he can't decide who to date, who can? 64 is her age, 28 is his age, 0 is the number of I give about adults engaging in consensual relationships. If Leo ever dated a woman who was 28, none of us would freak out over that. Society doesn't feel that Madonna is taking advantage of the 28 years man. The number of years may be similar, but 28 is a world removed from 19. 28-year-olds are grown people lol, because 28 is much different than 19. Someone 28 has world experience outside of high school. Why do people feel they need to defend Leo? I think the difference is Leo only dates below a certain age. It's weird and specific. Who cares? Because he's almost 30. Parts of Madonna are newer than 28. At 28 you are a fully grown, hopefully mentally competent adult who understands the implications and ramifications of your choices. But we threw up in our mouth a bit, because by about 25 or so nobody gives a single. Because by 25 if you're not in prison or dead you are presumed a fully realized adult capable of deciding to bang a 64-year-old. I'm more interested in why you're asking this question at all. Feels loaded as PBH, because at least he could drink legally. Oh. And people did lose their 28 isn't 19, because there is a big difference between 28 and 19 in maturity. I was 29 and dated a 21-year-old for a couple weeks and I couldn't last more than literally 2 weeks. She didn't even get my early 2000s pop culture references. Hard pass. About the same number freaked out about that as the number freaking out about Leo right now, because nobody's paid attention to anything Madonna does for 20 years? How do you feel about winter ending soon? I'm looking forward to seeing more sunshine, which lifts my spirits, and hearing some birds sing in the early mornings, which does the same. Sad lol. I hate summer, all sweaty and dirty. I'm so excited. Finally warmer days. Incredibly sad. This was supposed to be such a fantastic season, and it just wasn't. Upset. It's been very warm in Pa the entire winter and it just feels like spring. My allergies last from April to December, so I'm not looking forward to that. Sad. I actually like winter. But winter hardly exists anymore. At least where I am located. Average temperature has probably been around 50 degrees. It has been cold some days but usually most days are warmer than not. And it hasn't snowed here in years. Seems like every year winter becomes warmer and warmer. It's summer here. I'm excited for cooler weather! Exclamation mark. What's with these warm winters, man? It's only February. I shouldn't have to go out and deal with the gardens yet. We are looking forward to the colder season. Gosh, this heat is unbearable to us anymore. We are in New Zealand and it is summer here. Saddest. Can't wait. Sad. As a Floridian, the summers are way too hot. Bring it on. This has been the absolute worst cold flu season for my youngsters. They are home from school every other week, sick. We need something. Sun. Warmth for the entire school to be healthy again. Joyful! Exclamation mark. Finally, I live in Canada. Also, omelet's been that long? I live in Maine, so I'll be happy about not paying for heat. It'll be back. Nice. I'm freezing. Also, more daylight will feel good. Winter lasts till April here, but I will be happy when it gets warmer. Not excited for 16 hours of sunlight a day. Happy but also not looking forward to the bugs and mosquitoes. Hoo-hoo. So happy. Activities are more fun in better weather. So happy. It'll be back. So happy. I hate being cold! Exclamation mark. George R. Martin. Finish up those books already. If you saw Joe Biden on the street, what would you say to him? Why are you in Canada right now? Take me out to dinner. Nothing, but I'd probably sniff him real quick. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I prefer not to mess around with government figures. In his mind, nothing. What I would actually say is, you're probably going to forget this, but nuclear launch codes are going to be permanently changed to Big Booty 1800. He'll never remember the nuclear launch codes again. I would say, hello Joe Biden. His deepfake speeches are better than his real ones. Yo, wanna play Among Us? What's up, baby? Take me out to dinner. Same thing I said when I ran past him in my college town. Afternoon, Mr. President. I don't always like what he says or agree with his policies, but he's our president. Like him or not, show him some human decency. Edit spelling. Nothing. I don't talk to people I don't know, even if they're famous. Though I would wonder why he's out on the street. Your shoes untied. I know what's in those secret files you hid. You got a membership for PR and videos? D's nuts. Thanks a lot. Did they know you were out? You should have just let us have Bernie. Hello, Mr. President. When's your bedtime? Probably wouldn't give him a second glance. Nothing. I have no interest in anything he has to say, and I'm pretty sure he would feel the same about me. Thank him for convincing me to vote Republican next election. I'd go get ice cream with him. He seems like a decent dude. I'd tell him to keep on that student debt thing. BC, your boy could use some help with that. I would run up and give him a hug. He's been through an awful lot. Selfie? Kiss me, Mr. President. Then I would probably get tackled by Secret Service. Stop sniffing children. Please tell me more about Corn Pop. Don't trip. Hello Joe. Jump at him and yell like a FNAF jump scare. Hey, I read this is Joe Biden and was going to say pump it up. Trains. Ayo, take me out to dinner, baby. Wake up, Sutha Joe. Not what I would say. What would I do? We can't have guns to protect ourselves even if we don't need one, but he can have armed guards? Nothing. That man means nothing to me, another motherfucker on the streets. Pretend that I know him and see how he acts, ha ha ha. Have you ever listened to a person talk for less than a minute and known you weren't going to get along with that person? What did they say? Told me yeah, all women are. You included. No offense. Within the first 2 minutes of knowing me, there are different levels to being a psychic. I'm on the purple level so I can talk to the dead. Said a new employee at my previous job. Nope, I know I'm not supposed to ask, but I need to know. It's not for work or anything. What religion are you? Our manager. New guy at work. First coffee break he started complaining about his ex who had full custody of the kids for some unknowable reason, and also how he'd like to slash her throat with a rusty knife. Nice to meet you too. Don't think I'll be taking breaks with you. I was listening to the Nexivm podcast and the clip of the founder saying he has 225 IQ. If I walked into a room and heard someone say that, I'd walk right back out. The quiet boy at school sat next to me and told me how hard he felt when he took A. And how many times he. That way. I never sat next to him again. Some people might say I'm an. But I just tell it how it is. 99 chance they're in. That I don't want to be around. Meet your teacher day before my kiddo started kindergarten, and this other parent literally bragged that her kid was completely illiterate, couldn't stand being read to, and she hated reading too. Was a customer at work. Naturally I wouldn't be friends. But even in a setting where we could become friends, it wasn't happening. I came up to her to see if she had any questions about our critters. I work in a pet shop, and the very first thing she asked was if parakeets could talk because she wanted to teach them racial slurs. Biggest nope of my life. The new neighbor who, after introducing himself, pointed to his chest and says, "Instant. Just add beer." That's what the family says. No, we're not gonna be neighbor pals. You're viewerin'. Even without beer. You don't scare me. Wasn't trying to scare you in the slightest. What is attractive to you in a woman? I don't know anymore. My only remaining trait I haven't run into issues with is loyalty. I won't lie when I say I like them cute and beautiful, but a woman with a good heart will win mine's over. Humble. Caring. Adventurous. Someone genuinely nice with self-respect and respect for others. That's my ideal. Being able to communicate like an adult and not resort to pettiness and manipulative tactics. That she makes conversation and isn't afraid to be herself in public. Smart. Working. Her own place. Open. Honest. Kind. All the basic nice traits. Genuine personality. Passionate about hobbies. Nerdy. Emotional maturity. Wide hips and thick thighs. She has to have a sense of humor and make me laugh. Emotional intelligence. Smile. Voice. Taste in music. Confidence level. Self-made go-getter. Lafitte mental health outlook. Compassion for others of all walks. Edit positive mental health outlook. Creativity. Caring about my feelings. When she actually shows enthusiasm in doing things. Humor and confidence. A deep emotional connection kind attitude and is fun to be around. Emotionally, definitely a good sense of humor. Funny people are typically smarter, which brings so many good qualities alongside it. I love falling into those endless loops of laughter where I feel like I'm going to drop over dead if I can't stop laughing. Intelligence. Openness. To have them sexy eyes. That says I steal your soul. Fall for it every time. Smart, funny, and most of all she must be kind. Not being afraid to show vulnerability. Personality. Emotional intelligence and secure attachment. Sense of humor. My wife is not only hilarious, but she likes some dark humor. Plus she is into a lot of the same stuff as me. Positivity. Strippers do nothing for me. I like a strong salt of the earth, self-possessed woman at the top of her field. Your Steffi Grofs, Cheryl Swoopses, but I will take a free breakfast buffet anytime, anyplace. Some who needs nothing, but still wants to be with me. What's your favorite thing to cook? Bake. Cinnamon rolls, cookies, banana bread and zucchini bread. 10/10. Steak sandwiches. I love making craft dinner while SpongeBob is playing in the background because when I was younger my grandpa used to make it for me while I would watch the recorded episodes of SpongeBob on the TV. I love making breads and cakes. I like to cook up stories in my head to feel better. Bread. I have 3 teenage kids that eat $1,000 in food per month. Making bread saves me $100 a month. Muffins, ramen, cookies every Christmas with my dad. I never do it anymore because I'm not home enough, but nothing beats homemade bread straight out the oven. Although cookies made with chocolate, peanut butter, or butterscotch are a solid second place. Ada. Spelling. Chicken flautas. Scrambled eggs. They cook so fast. Cherry and coconut cake. It's been described admittedly by a 9-year-old the best cake ever. Eclairs. You can literally never go wrong. Chicken and rice. My new favorite is making bagels. First batch I ever did turned out but tasty. Trying out small variations to get the best out of it. Worst case scenario I have but tasty bagels, sweet potatoes, cheeseburgers, carbonara, and fried shrimp, eggs, bacon and cheese sandwiches. I love to cook meatballs for some reason. And bake butter pecan cake. Homemade bread. I like to make ham and cheese pockets every once in a while, and I always make extra bread dough so we can have some dinner rolls, pasta with homemade meatballs and Sunday gravy. Pizza. A bakery by me sells frozen dough balls for $1 and they are outstanding. Ooh. I make a lot of cookies, and recently I've started dabbling in cakes. My husband comes up with flavor ideas and I find recipes to make it. How do you manage to keep your self-esteem at a healthy level in this era of social media where you are constantly exposed to gorgeous, glamorous people all the time? Deleted all media. It's been less than a week and I already feel better. I've deleted my social media. It has done wonders. I'm much more grateful for what I have and am present to enjoy it. I remember that social media is smoke and mirrors. People only post their best of their best, never their worst of their worst. I only compete with who I was yesterday, no one else. I don't follow celebrities or influencers on social media unless they're putting out content I actually find interesting. I also just understand the fact that celebrities have stylists and plastic surgery and tons of money to buy new clothes constantly, and I don't. I just don't worry about those people. Good on them for living their life. I'm busy living mine. Being gorgeous and glamorous does not mean that you are happy or satisfied, but you can absolutely be happy and satisfied without being gorgeous or glamorous. Focus on yourself and your relationships with real people. I just don't care about it. We've been exposed to gorgeous, glamorous people forever. It's not new. I just don't care. I left Facebook, TikTok, etc., and it was the best thing not only for my mental health but my self-esteem. I don't have social media. It's time-consuming and doesn't really add much to my life. I know it's hard to quit, but I seriously don't miss it and don't want to be on it. Makeup, tailored clothing do absolute wonders. Nobody looks like this when you go to class or the supermarket, etc. Just remember you have a life to live. Social media is two-dimensional. Outside is three. There's a lot in that one extra dimension, by following people that don't make me feel like. And by remembering that social media isn't real. The women who look like a numpty in the real world pointing a phone at themselves from all different angles whilst pulling various faces, followed by a bunch of self-edit filters, and then finally, release the image online to anxiously await how many clicks it gets? Yeah. Men find these sorts girls super attractive lol, by knowing that they don't actually look like that with all of the filters and professional help and then not paying any actual attention to it them.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.